Phoenix, in the Valley of the Sun, at 1,000 feet elevation, is noted for hot summers and many diverse crops. Driving north up I-17, the elevation rapidly rises to over 7,200 feet on the Mogollon Rim Mountains, where the temperatures are 40 to 50 degrees cooler, and it rains almost every day during the summer. When we first come to Phoenix 35 years ago, our neighbors and friends hiked with us into the Grand Canyon for about 10 years. That was our physical exercise. No digital cameras back then. We gradually converted to truck camping, some pop-ups, then finally the full campers. Once we get on top of the Mogollon Rim, the rolling landscape has large open meadows and tall pines with many places to pull over and camp, as there are no formal campgrounds or hookups. The grass and the pine trees are tall. It is so refreshing after the afternoon thunder shower. Our donkeys went with us for 25 years until they got too old. Jake makes himself at home and is often a camp nuisance. The kids, dogs and donkeys, had a great time, and it seemed the donks really liked getting out with the kids and exploring, as they was always ready to go. Sitting around the campfire and swapping lies is always enjoyable, and especially in the evening when the deer and the elk start moving and the coyotes start howling later at night. In our early camping, we used 2 pop-up tents and spread the tarp over the top to cover the bed, saddles, and stove. As usual, we always had a big fire. The old saying was, white man build a big fire and stand far away, Indian build a small fire and stand up close. Everyone called them bob fires. Few days go by in the summer when there isn't a thunder shower. Occasionally it rains hard for 30 minutes, and sometimes it hails. In a few minutes it's over, and in an hour later it's all dry and back to normal. Sometimes we camp right on the very edge of the Mogollon Rim. The initial drop-off is 3,000 to 4,000 feet, a real sight. It is only a few steps from the tent to a giant step, but we've never had any problems with the kids. As you can see from the campfire, the rim is only a few steps away. At one time during the graduation process from the tents to campers, we had a camper on the truck, and it worked well as we could pull the horse trailer behind and take the donks. We especially liked one area, as there was a complete livestock corral built by the ranchers to load cattle out. This area is all open range, and cattle are always around. We could put the donks in the corral at night rather than tying them up, as they were prone to wander. Finally, we graduated to a used 30-foot fifth wheel, and it's been a joy since, as we have probably put on 40,000 miles. After the bark beetles damaged so many trees a few years ago, there is ample firewood. When I find a big log lying down that no one will cut up, then I use a big chainsaw and get it into stumps, and a smaller chainsaw for the firewood and kindling. It's most enjoyable to have plenty of wood for campfires, and everyone enjoys sitting around and visiting. At night we start with a big fire and let it burn down for s'mores and marshmallow roasting. A few of the campers enjoy a cool one, but most have soft drinks. Those special birthday parties occasions are celebrated in style as we gather around for cake and sometimes ice cream brought up in the refrigerators. Our group of families have been involved for many years, and now their kids are grown and having kids, looking forward to our campouts on special weekends, now grown into a long-time tradition. When Navajo passed because of laminitis, a front foot disease, we bought from the Wild Horse Program 2 smaller donkeys, Cody and Dusty, to replace Navajo and later Jake. It was not long till Jake had mouth and nose problems diagnosed as cancer. We enjoyed them for over 25 years, and they had an easy life on an acre of irrigated grass. The young donks went to our friends with horses, and we spent 2 years in Alaska and this summer in Montana. This is our neighbors across the street and our camper, after we returned from camping a few years ago to the heat and back to work. Hope you enjoyed this. God bless Bob and Bev.